Hello there, audience. To those of you that don't know me, I'm Red Tag Ross. I do the red tags in Burbank, California. Adam Schiff. He's my man. He's the man. Bobblehead Schiff. And I'm going to tell you a story about Bobblehead Schiff and what happens in his district. He's talking about whistleblowers in his district. You want to talk about whistleblowers in his district? I'm a whistleblower. That's what I am. I'm Red Tag Ross. I turned into a red tag guy for a reason. The reason I turned into a red tag guy is I watched somebody do something so egregious to somebody that I went, wow. I realized they had done it to me too. They were so smart, the way they did it, the way they achieved their goal. And this is all of Hollywood. Everything that Hollywood represents is a lie. It's an absolute lie, written by writers. You know what writers do? They fool you. They make you think something's great that isn't, and something that is great is bad. That's what they do, and they're very good at it. And I'm going to tell you something, I'm very good too. I'm going to tell you about Gunnell versus Metrocolor. They can call it Gunnell versus Sony. You can call it Gunnell versus Paramount Pictures. You can call it Gunnell versus whoever you want. There were 22 defendants. The main defendant, who would the main defendant be? Think about it. Motion Picture Television Producers Alliance. Oh, yeah, you guys. You negotiate all the deals with all the unions. And we suffer the consequences of what you do. Gunnell versus Metrocolor. 138 people dying of cancer, dying of all kinds of things. And you sent me in to clean it up. And I did. I cleaned it up. I didn't complain. I cleaned it up. I kicked ass. I found out years later that all those people died. And I had all kinds of problems. So I did something. I took it to court. I beat you. I beat you. I beat you in court. I beat AOL Time Warner. You hear that, Ted? Ted Turner. I beat you in court. I got adrenaline going right now too, because it's a real story. You guys don't tell real stories. Donald Trump. I took down fake news. I took down CNN. I took down Ted Turner. I took down AOL Time Warner. I took down Warner Brothers. I took them all down. I took down the unions. The unions know who they are. I'm pro-union. Always was. But I took the union down. Why? Because what you did to me. You had 138 union workers dying of cancer, and you brought me in to clean it up. And who did I work for? I worked for Dave Carrasco. Who's Dave Carrasco? He swam across the border. He swam across the border, got a job at a lamp store, and someone said, hey, I got a job for you. And they gave him the job. That Metrocolor Film Lab, that was his job. But when it killed his daughter in December of 1988, he needed somebody, didn't they? So they looked through their books and found him a laborer, a great laborer, somebody who worked so hard that he can come in and clean this whole thing, and he did. Charles Bracey, I love Charles Bracey. He was my gang boss, a black man. You treated him horrible. Why? Because he was recovering, so that's where you put the recovering people. That's nice. That's very nice. Dave Carrasco swam across the border. They're dead. Everybody's dead. You guys know that. Everybody from Metrocolor's dead. Metrocolor Film Lab. Why do you guys think film's gone? Adam Schiff, why? Why is film gone? You tell me. You tell me. Where did Local 683 go? Gunnell versus Metrocolor. And guess what? I won a $6.5 million jury verdict, Mr. Trump. Yes, I did. And guess what? They changed their mind. Nope, we're not going to give you the money. No, we're not going to give you the money. Nope, we're going to bury it. We're going to bury it, and we're going to tell you to go away. And we're going to give you a bill. If you don't do what we say, we will give you a bill. Well, I knew what they did. And I went after them. And they gave me the bill. So now my bill is $1.8 million. I owe $1.8 million. I won a lawsuit where I got a $6.5 million jury verdict. I owe all this money, and you didn't give me any money. What am I supposed? Where's the money? You know where the money is. It's in Adam Schiff's pocket. Bobblehead Schiff. It's in your pocket. That's where the money's at. Who's Culver City? Who represents Culver City? I'd like to know that. That's where the lab was. That's where you guys had to take that lab. You had to dig that thing out of there. You had to dig 30 feet out of there and go and throw it in the Arizona desert, didn't you? Yes, you did. And I watched you do the whole thing. And then your film. You needed 12 more years, 13 more years. When did the film labs finally go away? 2013? Yeah, you sent me to the back lot so I got to see what you guys were doing. I saw it. I did see it. And I don't appreciate it. And I'm going to tell you, this message is for Donald Trump. Donald Trump, when you win a lawsuit in the state of California and you are a whistleblower, they push you to the very back. They take everything from you, say you're a liar, take your verdict, bury it, and the judges do it. And you're going, what does it matter with the state of California? What does it matter with the state of California? And you said 21 years ago, people still had a good, their living was good. Well, guess what happened 20 years ago? What happened? When did I win? I won July 14th of 1999. That's when they had to make a private deal. They made a private deal, and the private deal did not include me. Judge Paul Boland, his wife, Margaret Morrow, appointed by Bill Clinton. Margaret Morrow. Justice Einhoff, what's his name? Einhoff says that she's up in her ivory tower. You know, she's one of the elites. She's the elites they're talking about. No. They're not the elite. Like you said, I'm the elite. I'm the one. I'm the one who took them all down. And you know why? I was willing to give up my job. I was willing to give up my job. And today I have 2 children, 7 and 9. And I have a $1.8 million bill. How am I going to pay that? Do we steal it from my wife, who has worked tirelessly for the federal government her whole life, her whole career? She has made something for herself, and I have helped her do that. But they'll tell you I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy at all. I'm Gunnell versus Metrocolor. I'm what happens when a whistleblower does what's right, but he did it against Ted Turner. Ted Turner is AOL Time Warner. AOL Time Warner bought the lab. They wanted the lab. He bought it from Krikorian. He wanted to have the lab because then he gets to colorize all the film. What were they doing in the lab? What were they doing in the lab? Were they colorizing the film for you, Ted? Is that what they were doing? I watched it. I watched the film go through. You guys said they weren't doing film while I was there. I watched it. I told them the process. They saw a laborer tell them the process of how to develop film. How does that happen? How does that happen? Why was everybody making $100 an hour when I was making 12? Cleaning up after them. Why was I not allowed to talk to them? You said, do not talk to these people. Whatever you do, do not talk to these people. What happened to Loyal Richmond? What happened to him? Loyal, what a funny thing. His name was Loyal, a local 683 guy. And one day I go in and they're having a party, a going away party for Loyal. And Loyal is completely eaten up. His skin, his arms, his neck, his face, his ears, eaten up. What happened to Loyal? Imagine his name was Loyal. He was 53 years old from what I remember. And that was in 1989. So Dave Carrasco's daughter dies, the illegal alien that swam here, and you sent him me. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate you doing that. But I'm going to tell you one thing. You did it to a strong man. and a strong man that will fight. My attorney sold that lawsuit. She sold it. Imagine that you get to sign a private bargain and then sell the lawsuit to somebody. Who would you sell it to, I wonder? I wonder if you'd sell it to a guy named Bernie Bernheim. Bernie Bernheim. Imagine his name is Bernie Bernheim. Her name is Martina A. Silas. And we have Bernie Bernheim. He has a bar number. Look it up. And then look up Stephen J. Bernheim. And he has a bar number. And look that bar number up. And then find out that they are the same number. Imagine that. So Bernie Bernheim works on my lawsuit. Stephen J. Bernheim, what does he do? Buy the lawsuit? Did he buy it? Go look at his page. Donald Trump, go look at his page. Donald, and by the way, I don't mean to be, this is aggression that I've got 20 years of aggression, and you're talking about what happened 20 years ago. Where is the forgotten man? I'm right here. I am right here. And I am telling you what happened. I'm telling you where the jobs went immediately. When they said what they won for my lawsuit, the reason they won, made it impossible to do work in the United States of America. And that is not what I asked for. I won fraud, malice, and oppression. So the first thing I won was fraud. And that's why I did it. You lied to me. They lied to me. Straight to my face. And I went in and I told a panel of a jury. I told 15 people my story. And they awarded me. And they took it all away and chased me down. Go ahead and look it up. I have one thing where people came to my house. They were coming to my house. And a guy named Daniel Wolkin, Daniel Wolkin is at my house. Well, who the heck is Daniel Wolkin? I didn't know his name was Daniel Wolkin until we all ended up in court. And Daniel Wolkin works for Stephen Bochco, and Stephen Bochco wrote L.A. Law, and Stephen Bochco did a thing called Raising the Bar, and it's about Bernie Bernheim or Stephen J. Bernheim. Imagine that. The guy who works on my case has something called Raising the Bar. Ha, ha, ha. Uh-huh. I'm inspired by people like Terrence. You inspire me. You inspired me to talk. You're inspiring me to talk. When I hear whistleblower, and I want you guys to know what happens to whistleblowers. There is zero protection. The only person that has protected me is the woman that would be my wife, except she can't be my wife because I owe $1.8 million for a lawsuit that I won. You understand that? $1.8 million for a lawsuit that I won, but didn't get any money. They said they changed their mind. The judge changed his mind. That's what Martina Silas says. He changed his mind. I took it to a court. I said, Your Honor, Judge Morris, Your Honor, this is what she did. She kept the money. Her and Bernie, they kept the money. They waited until I was out of court, and I saw it in the transcript later. Your Honor, you have to give me the charges. If you find that by the way, I'm shaking. That's adrenaline. This is adrenaline. This is pure adrenaline. Your Honor, if you find that Mr. Gunnell has an unliquidated claim, then you must give me interest from the date I gave him this bill, dated December of 2001. What day did they throw it out on for final, by the way? December 19, 2001, my wife's birthday. She would be my wife, but I'm not allowed to marry her. So my kids are born out of wedlock because I'm a whistleblower. You understand? Look where I live. I'm not a loser. I'm a whistleblower. Look where I live. I'll just give you a quick over. Look where I live. Not so bad, huh? Look. My children think they live in a mansion. It's nice. Where I live is nice. I did good. But I'm going to tell you, if something happens to my wife, what do? They take this house, don't they? $1.8 million, Mr. Trump. $1.8 million. That's what happens to the whistleblower. Why do you think they want you gone? Because they know that I know. By the way, vacatur in California, Bernie Bernheim, look it up. 2 ways the California courts get rid of decisions they don't like. Bernie Bernheim says this article. Well, Bernie Bernheim, isn't that interesting? What about Stephen J. Bernheim? What does he have to say about it? So when you tell a story, you're Bernie Bernheim. But when you're a legal man, you're Stephen J. Bernheim. With the same bar number. And this is what I want you people to understand. We do not have a legal system in the state of California. These people are spreading the money to themselves. That's what they're doing. Bernie Bernheim comes in as Bernie Bernheim, tells me who he is, but that's not even who he is. He's Stephen J. Bernheim. You get it? Go look on his website. Daniel Wilkin. Daniel Wilkin used to work for Bochco, and Bochco is working for Bernheim. And then they all come to my house and harass me. They harassed me up until 2007. All the way through 2007. I won in 1999. They harassed me all the way through 2007. The last time I felt really harassed was right before I had my son. And then, after I had my son, I was harassed again. But I had a little teeny window, almost a little window where they gave me peace, just to introduce myself to my son. And my son has to look at me every day and say, he understands Whistleblower. I had to tell him he's 9. He knows this story. By the way, Martina A. Silas, I left her for my wife. And my wife did not know that. She never knew it. And that's why Martina would never pay me. Never. She looked me in the face and said, never. And she said, and if you ever marry Zerika, I will take her house. I didn't mean to put my wife's name in there. But you're not taking her house, Martina, because I'm going to tell the world. Ted Turner, I'm shaken, but I'm going to tell you something. I'm not stirred. And you, I'm coming after you. You sit there and say that you do all this stuff to help people. What about me? You bought my attorney. If she didn't pay me, you bought her. There is no other way it works. You bought the silence. You bought it because you needed to develop more film. You hurt all those people. You hurt every single one of those people at that lab. You bought that thing in 1986 and you ran it for 3 years. And don't you tell me you didn't. I was there in 89. I was there from February of 89 until 6/24 of 89. Yeah, union guy. And my union talked against me. It's not the union's fault that my union talked against me. It's my union's fault that they talked against me. They didn't want to admit they did something wrong. You sent somebody in to clean up what was killing 138 union members. That is not the union spirit. And you didn't tell me. And I don't think you told anybody else either. So I just changed hands, and I'm going to tell you something. Donald Trump, please. I am the forgotten man. What happened 20 years ago happened here in Burbank. Bob Daley and Terry Semel were fired immediately. Look it up. July 14, 1999. That's the day everything changed hands. And that's the day they had to shut me up forever. Well, I've gone over 20 years. And I am done. I am not going to allow my children to be robbed. They will steal everything that is mine. Yeah, my house is that great, but you see that? Trash truck going by every 15 minutes. 5 days a week. But that's okay, because I live in paradise. I live in a beautiful place. And I can handle it. But what I can't handle is being made the bad guy. You've made my whole family hates me now because of what this lawsuit did to me, of how this ripped me apart. I've spent 20 minutes. I spent more time than I had planned. I came here to do a test run, but this was a pretty good test run. And I think I'm going to hand it in, because if they want to impeach you, you make sure that Adam Shifty Schiff with his bobblehead knows. By the way, and let's put this in there. Dr. Milton Feinberg He got me a sit down. He got me in with you, Mr. Schiff, at the ice house. You gave me your bobblehead doll. That's why I keep calling you bobblehead. You gave me the bobblehead, and you walked out with us afterwards because he's your big contributor, Milton Feinberg. He was a doctor well into his 90s at Olive Medical Center, and he got me right in with you. And he told you to give me a sit down, but you said call my office. You didn't give me a card. You didn't give me anything where I could actually get you. You said call my office. Okay, thanks a lot. Really been great. So, Donald Trump, you want somebody out here for this district? I'll do it, but you gotta help me. Okay? If they don't want to give me the money, that's fine. But I wanted to tell you the story. Okay? And I'm going to tell you the story's a lot bigger than that because there was a lot more than one defendant. There was a lot of defendants. And there was a lot of money that changed hands. And they all know it. And it's a lot more than $6.5 million. And they all know it. Okay? Next you can hear Margaret Morrow, I was going to come to you. I was going to come to you. And I was going to send my wife to you. But you know what? My wife is terrified of you. And I'm like, you know what? Why does she have to do that? Why does she have to go sit in front of Margaret Morrow and do this? Why? I sat down, I gave up my union career to do what was right for the 138 people that died. And I did it for Carrasco, and I did it for Charles Bracey, my buddy. Okay? I'm the one who's still alive, and I'm going to tell you, I'm mad. I'm not very happy at all. But I will tell you this. I will only get even by doing it the way I did last time. Last time it was a court case. Well, this time, telephones are now cameras. They didn't have cameras back then. I couldn't get my story out. Well, I can get my story out now. And Donald Trump, you were the best president that this country has ever seen. That's what I have to say since George. And by the way, George is my cousin, so I'm good. I like what you're doing. You're doing what he meant you to do. And I'm going to sign off. This is Ross Gunnell. Red Tag Ross, Burbank, California. Adam Shifty Schiff's district. Adam, you are horrible. You've been here since 98. Well, you've covered the whole thing up because it happened in 99. And Trump's going, what happened in 99? And he can't figure it out, and he knows it has something to do with you guys. Boy, look at you guys squirming like pigs. Love it. That's right. Squirming. Now live a minute of my life. A minute of my running from everybody life. I've hidden in this house. That's what I've done. Thank you very much. America, I hope you see this story. I hope every single one of you sees this story and understands it's the truth. I'm doing this for my 7-year-old daughter and my 9-year-old son. They cannot pay the price of the whistleblower. Peace, love, and America. God first. People second. What I did at the lab, I did it for the people. I knew nobody would stand up to the unions. And I stood up to the unions. I stood up to the chemical companies, Aiken Gump. Oh, gee, Aiken Gump. Yeah, go look them up. Wonder who I was going against, huh? Yeah, tough guy. Really rough guy. Peace, love, America.